The NCAA House settlement coming to a close, the Department of Education has spoken. And what they said throws a wrinkle in the whole concept of college sports finally becoming professionalized. And I'm going to share one of my favorite innovations in the No Backboard Basketball League, taken right from Paul Westhead and his fast-paced Loyola Marymount Lions. That and more in today's No Backboard Basketball Show.
That we get back to talking about this community, because I think that's one way, and that I think that's, if I'm not mistaken, it may be the tagline you use there, if change the game, change the community.
I'm the game changer, the mover, the shaker. With every basket, I'm a community maker. I'm the game changer, the mover, the shaker. With every basket, I'm a community maker.
Great question. So the No Backboard Basketball League, the vision of it is a new recreational basketball platform to provide opportunities for Black and brown individuals to actually own wealth creating assets in the sports space. Welcome to the No Backboard Basketball Show. I'm your host, Mark T. Armstrong, the inventor of Basketball to Remix, the modern interpretation of the original game of basketball, and founder of the No Backboard Basketball League. The No Backboard Basketball League is envisioned as an alternative recreational basketball platform, basketball development platform, and basketball entertainment platform purposed to make a positive impact on basketball in the United States. If you want to learn more about my why behind the No Backboard Basketball League, check out my book, No Backboard Basketball, Remixing Basketball as a Catalyst for Change, available now on Amazon. We're building a community. I invite you to check out and join our community. You can go to nobackboard.com. That's nobackboard.com. Check us out, provide your email, tap into what we're doing, and consider supporting our effort. Visit nobackboard.store, pick up some gear, download some No Backboard basketball music. Be one of the first in your area to rock our gear, play our tunes, or you can buy me a cup of coffee or an adult beverage, and the links for all of this you can find in the description. All right, today we're going to look underneath the hood of the Department of Education's recent announcement that payments made from universities to athletes have to be designated as financial benefits and not income. What's the impact of that? And we're going to discuss one of the innovations in the No Backboard Basketball League, one that is inspired directly from my experience playing for Coach Paul Westhead at Loyola Marymount University. So in 2020, the National Bureau of Economic Research issued a report entitled Revenue Redistribution in Big Time College Sports. And it highlights a very stark reality. Colleges use the revenue from sports like football and basketball, predominantly powered by Black athletes from lower socioeconomic backgrounds, to fund less profitable sports. Now, the study found that many of these programs generate over $100 million annually, yet the economic benefits rarely return to the communities of these athletes. Instead, what we're finding is that these funds are being redirected to support a wide range of sports, often benefiting athletes from more affluent backgrounds to meet Title IX obligations and ensuring gender equity in sports. So this redistribution essentially means that the hard work of these Black athletes is often subsidizing other sports, creating what the report calls economic leakage from Black communities. It's a system where the value created by these athletes don't translate into wealth for the communities, exacerbating economic disparities over time. Interesting, right? So let's talk about the Department of Education's recent announcement regarding the NCAA and House settlement. If you're aware of my content, I've been espousing how excited I am about this concept of the professionalization of college sports and allowing the athletes to receive full benefits from the value they generate as a college athlete. When we take in consideration the Department of Education's announcement and the NCAA versus House ruling, we're going to see an interesting dynamic develop that I'm really interested to see how things play out. So, the settlement, the NCAA versus House settlement, allows for direct payments to athletes. Sounds like great progress. However, these payments are classified, as I mentioned, as financial assistance rather than income. This is crucial because under Title IX, part of assistance, any part of assistance must be redistributed to ensure gender equity, right? So if the money's being paid to the athletes based upon House versus NCAA was considered income, that money, that revenue wouldn't qualify under Title IX for redistribution. Obviously, the concern is, and I pointed this out early on with the involvement of the NCAA versus House, and when the started getting leaked that we're going to see direct payments to athletes, and that there's this $20 million a year for the next 10 years that in back payments that have to come out of the current budget structure. I was thinking that's going to wipe out many of the athletic departments, particularly athletic departments that are not generating revenue. However, this announcement from this declaration from the Department of Education resets my thinking on that. So what we actually have now is a continuation of the same economic narrative that the National Bureau of Economic Research report points out. While athletes are now getting direct compensation, the requirement to redistribute this money under Title IX means that economic benefits continue to be spread across broader athletic departments, often not directly benefiting the athletes or the communities who generated this revenue. This redistribution comes with an opportunity cost, again, that the National Bureau of Economic Research pointed out. There's a missed chance to make a more profound impact on these athletes and their communities, which was my hope, is that with this newfound revenue or supposedly income coming to the college athletes, that would be able to make a significant impact, not just on those athletes, but also their families. But instead of using these funds to boost athletic development, be able to provide something for their families or invest in community programs, or even offer direct financial education, the money is being used to maintain broader athletic programs. Again, oftentimes supporting programs that the participants in the programs come from more affluent backgrounds and typically are white Americans. So this choice represents a loss of potential direct impact and economic upliftment, which is needed, and I was very excited about. So the classification of these payments as financial assistance rather than income distorts public perception, right? Because I've been pushing the narrative professionalization of college sports. But this actually is giving us an illusion that college sports are moving towards professionalization, where the athletes will be paid for the labor. However, this framing masks the reality that these funds are still being used in ways that don't necessarily empower the athletes fully themselves or address the economic inequities pointed out in the National Bureau of Economic Research's report. I get it. Something's better than nothing. And the fact that athletes will start receiving direct payments are significant. However, if you think back about the announcement of the University of Virginia Commonwealth, they're expected to pay their basketball players an average of over $300,000. The direct number isn't coming to me at the moment. But in digging into that, it's my understanding that when they pay the athlete that $300,000, or they allocate that that financial benefit of $300,000 to the athlete, they're also going to deduct the cost of his school, room, and board out of that money allocated to the athlete. The money that is being promoted to the athlete, come play here, and we're going to pay you this. All of that's getting distorted now. And I'm really interested to see how that unfolds. So this system, under the guise of equity, continues to utilize the resources of Black athletes to support diverse sports programs while not providing a direct proportional economic return to those athletes or their communities. It's nuance, right? It's a nuanced form of exploitation highlighted in my article, Reclaiming the Value, Countering College Sports Parasitism. The link for this article is in the description. So, while the NCAA versus House settlement and the Department of Education announcement appear to be a step forward, they might instead perpetuate the economic exploration of athletes that we've been fighting against for so many decades. This is done through the classification of the payments of financial benefits instead of income. And by continuing this practice of redistributing revenue generated by these athletes to support non-revenue generating sports, notably, the athletes in these sports often come from more affluent backgrounds than those who actually create the value and drive the revenue that the schools generate. It's a continuation of the same narrative, and it coming across more as a repackaging of the same narrative. The kids are getting money that many of them were getting behind the scenes. Now that money's up front, but the overall true and full value of what athletes are generating may not actually still be making it all the way to the athlete, or the potential that that additional benefit that's being redistributed that could go to the athlete, that those benefits can have a greater impact, not just on an athlete, but the communities that that athlete comes from. Hey, I'm going to be paying attention to this, and we'll see how it evolves. I would love to get your take and thoughts on this particular subject.
Tired of the three-point obsession, the commercialization of youth basketball, and a game where skill development takes a backseat? Introducing No Backboard Basketball, remixing basketball as a catalyst for change. This isn't just a book, it's a movement. Rediscover basketball's roots, where the focus is on community, creativity, and real opportunities for Black and brown youth. No more barriers for families without deep pockets. Get your copy on Amazon now and join the revolution that's changing the game and changing lives.
The No Backboard Basketball League introduces over 15 innovations to the game of basketball. Now, removing the backboard is not one of those innovations, because in fact, basketball was originally invented without the backboard, and the first professional sports were played without a backboard. Our innovations encompass unique concepts like our three-point key, our face-off, our running substitution box, each of which we'll explore in due course. But today, I'd like to discuss an innovation that significantly accelerates the pace of the game. Now, we don't have a name for it because this is a rule that's just inherent in the way we play and in the character of our sport. We don't take the ball out after made baskets. Instead, the ball is immediately live when it's out the net, and the offensive player has an option of having 3 dribbles to advance the ball before the defender can try to steal it, or 1 pass before the defender can attempt to take the ball. Now, I have firsthand experience on how speeding up the transition from defense to offense can enhance the game's excitement and really put stress on your opponent. When I played under Coach Paul Westhead at Loyola Marymount University, I was tasked to get the ball out of bounds and back in play as fast as possible. So it's this experience that I have incorporated in developing this rule for the No Backboard Basketball League. In many respects, the basketball promoted by the No Backboard Basketball League is a solidification, if you would, of the Loyola Marymount fast break system that Paul Westhead promoted and I played in for 3 years. So why speed the game up so dramatically? Like, why force pace in the game? Well, when you combine speeding the game up, and we have multiple rules in addition to taking the ball out of bounds that are designed to keep the game moving and minimize stoppage. So when you speed the game up, minimize stoppage, and then you combine it with our no backboard basketball hoop that is 16 inches instead of 18 inches, it presents a challenge in our version of basketball that the end result is when athletes go back and play traditional basketball, the game slows down significantly. They're shooting the ball with more precision, and they're making better decisions on the court because the game is actually slowing down for them. This is undoubtedly one of my favorite rules in the game because I know from personal experience that if you can play the game at a fast pace and become accurate and efficient on our U hoop, which is a no backboard hoop in 16 inches instead of the larger traditional hoop of 18 inches, that will translate directly back to traditional basketball with a player who is in better condition, making better decision, and a more efficient scorer, and a better defender, particularly in transition. It's these combinations that make me believe that we have created a better version of the game of basketball. Again, that is purposed to make a positive impact on basketball in America so that an American basketball athlete can reclaim being the #1 basketball athlete in the world.
All right, Cameron. So what was like the thing that surprised you most about playing today? Was it yourself, the overall experience?
I didn't expect it to be as fast paced, and I didn't expect it to like alter my thinking of how I play the game of basketball. Like, I really had to think it through and really think about what the next play is going to be and like what's the smart play.
Interesting. It's so fast paced, so I'm curious how like you thought ahead. Was it just something you thought muscle memory or strategy?
Just really reading what is on the court, like how the team's playing us and how we're playing in the game.
Do you think that helped you, like reading the other teammate?
Yeah, for sure. It really made me think on the fly and really speed up my thought process.
That's cool. And if you like were talking to someone else that never played this, what would you tell them?
I would say it's definitely a fun way to play the game of basketball because sometimes the game of basketball can get boring and you just need a different way to think, different way to play. It's a fun way to just play pick up with your friends.
That's awesome. Well, how do you feel like it plays into your training, I guess?
It can. It really makes you think about your fundamentals more, shooting. You have to get the ball up. You can't really shoot flat or else it's just going to go on the other side of the rim.
How was it making mistakes on the court?
The mistakes were hard because the game was so fast. If you made a mistake, the ball's already on the other end of the court.
Dang. So how do you think this new format's going to help new players and their unique skills compared to other things?
I feel like if a player plays it the right way, it'll better their like overall play style and it'll translate more to the game of basketball and just make them a better player.
Nice. Well, what was your favorite thing about this?
My favorite thing was probably the shooting. really thinking about the rim and how you had to get the ball up.
Did you ever have that time to think about the shot when you went up to it, or is it just like all flow?
All flow.
That's awesome.
Didn't get a thing.
Dang. Well, thank you for flowing with us.
Yes, sir.
Have a good one.
No backboard!
No backboards, just sky where we aim. Swish 'em.